Tonight, hundreds of passengers remained stranded as pilots from the national flag carrier Kenya Airways downed their tools, accusing the airline management of incompetence and dubious dealings that have necessitated numerous financial bailouts. And to complicate the issue further, members of the Kenya Aviation Workers Union this afternoon instructed all unionizable employees of the Kenya Airports Authority to steer clear of their workstations until KAA's management concludes CBA talks. NTV's Olive Barrows spoke to affected passengers and captured the complaints from all sides.
Your lounges are closed. We could have been sitting in the lounges. We are standing for 2-3 hours. This is your hospitality. This is it. Land of innovation and technology. You can't send an email.
The conditions under which the hundreds of passengers NTV witnessed queued outside the international departures and domestic departures at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport on Saturday morning may have been sickening, but this was no simple matter of pilots taking a sick off.
Many of the executive council members of CALPA have called in sick. What that means is that they are asking their members to go on strike, while they themselves have called in sick so that they can protect themselves.
Issues of sick and what have you, that's just pure propaganda.
Kenya Airways CEO Alan Kilavuka appeared to be at his wits' end as passengers confronted his management team, complaining of help desks that were ill-equipped to handle their numbers and non-existent communication.
If it continues for a week, to Kenya Airways, it is going to cost us about 2 billion every week, which if you extrapolate, means that in a month it will cost us up to 8 billion, maybe even 10 billion. And that will make this irreversible. In other words, this airline cannot be able to cover
No. I'm going to pay. You know what pain is?
We didn't get any SMS, we didn't get any alert, we didn't get any other information. Only for us to leave our residence to come here, and we are told there are no flights. And there are a lot of people who are actually in transit connecting to other destinations. So everybody is frustrated. We don't know what's happening.
Nobody's talking to me, yet they have the time and the minutes to run into the garden and hold their brief, and I think that's wrong. Holding your brief with the media, what about the customers?
But the stalemate appeared no closer to a resolution as either side dug in their heels.
We expect the pilots within the next 24 hours to return to work. And 24 hours means by 10:30 tomorrow.
The national government is hard-pressed to find a speedy resolution to the crisis, as 300 million shillings in revenue is lost daily, not to mention the extraneous costs of accommodating those stranded.
This is akin to economic sabotage.
The taxpayer, up to date, has given the airline support up to the tune of 30 billion Kenya shillings.
Who is the one who is responsible for this economic sabotage? It's not the pilots. If you cannot be able to handle administrative issues, and then you come and say now, because first you need to understand, we have a right to go for industrial action.
But even as the government and the Kenya Airways management piled on the pressure,
it's unfair for the pilots to try to test the new administration with a strike.
The purpose of this industrial action is not to test the new government.
The 388 pilots employed by Kenya Airways maintained that the management had demonstrated no good faith. This is one dispute in which time is money, and the Ministry of Labour is now charged with the responsibility of bringing the two conflicting sides together, even as they await a court date on Tuesday. The grievances raised by the pilots are: a chief pilot unqualified to hold the position, unilateral withdrawal of the Staff Provident Fund scheme to which Kenya Airways and the pilots contribute for their retirement, victimization and harassment of union officials and its members, and gross incompetence of the Kenya Airways leadership.
The demands from the CALPA to remove or to reinstate people is completely unacceptable to us as a board.
And suspected dubious dealings in the management of a pilot training program.
They say when two bulls fight, it's the grass that is underfoot, or in this case, under hoof, that gets trodden. And that is the case for the passengers who are stranded at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. As they get caught in this crossfire, well, the parties involved remain bullish.
We also know that a large majority of pilots do not support this unlawful strike. However, we have received reports that a lot of them are facing intimidation, so they are not brave enough to come to work.
The CEO also alleged that you're intimidating members who would like to go back to work.
Olive Burrows, NTV.